We are entering a new era here. The first mood-lifting, antidepressant happy plant.
We want rebel music, street music, music that breaks down people's fear of one another, music that knows who the real enemy is.
Différent dans ma vie. Et donc, il faut que je vous dise qu'est-ce que c'est qui m'a mené à faire ce travail pendant tant d'années.
Nu är det så här. Det här är stort.
Vi har kontakter idag med ett tyskt lågprisvaruhus. Det finns en chans att de kommer etablera sig här. 500 anställda.
Är det så?
Det är helt skadat mycket.
Så nu gäller det att sälja in oss. Och sätta Lafors på kartan.
Är det en kommunfilm?
Musse!
Hallå ladies!
Hallå.
Vi ska göra storfilm!
Hej! Får vi vara med?
Vi är fucking genier.
Jag fattar inte.
Du vet inte vad som är inne liksom. Du är för gammal. Va?
Vad gör du?
Vi filmar en kommunfilm.
Hej, vi får ta in ett proffs.
Tjenare. Roland.
Välkommen! Håll där! Där, det blir bra.
Klart för tagning. Fortsätt att filma bara.
Vad ska jag titta?
ينتفض إحساس
Det där är ju jättefult. Amatörer gör så.
Okay, hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the film talk session with me, Noval Yazid. I'm the festival co-director of Europe on Screen. And we are about to talk with Fredrik Dahl. Hi, Fredrik.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Hi, we're doing fine here. How are you?
I'm just fine.
Okay, great. And Fredrik, before we begin, I will address our audience about the rules of this webinar. Just to be reminded, guys, that you can also watch this session on YouTube Live. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask your questions in the Q&A box here in the Zoom link. So Fredrik, welcome to our chat here. And congratulations as well for the film Amateurs. We just finished screening the film a little while ago. And well, I have seen the film, obviously, but I just saw it again just now to prepare for this interview. And it's the kind of film that, despite repeated viewings, you still find it fresh and funny and hilarious and heartwarming as well. Of course, the first question would be, how did the role of Muse, am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, Muse, yeah.
Yeah, Muse. How did the role of Muse come to you?
For you, I work in a regional municipality here.
I see.
And I met Gabriella, the director, at the seminar, and she was basically, asking the audience or announcing to the audience that she was looking for a new venue to have her, or a new setting, a new place for her next movie. And I work for a small municipality, so I thought, I became Muse in that moment. Thinking to myself, she's an award-winning director here in Sweden. And finally, now I get the chance to, talk to her and ask her to, film her next movie in our little municipality. So I walked up to her and, basically told her, you can come, I'll help you, set you up. And it would be like, good promotion for our area. When she came, she started filming me. I didn't know this. And after a little while, I got a phone call and they asked for if I was interested in a small role. And I've never thought of myself as, someone acting or being on screen at all. So I called my mom and I said, listen, Mom, they asked me to be in this award-winning director's film. And it's like a small role. And they asked me to come to Gothenburg. And so I went to Gothenburg and they were casting and I was, acting up different scenes. And where I was supposed to be sad, I was supposed to be angry, and it took for ages. And I thought, no wonder, film budgets are blown up because this is ridiculous. I'm going to be pub guest number 3 or something. But then it turned out to be like one of the leading roles. And it has been such an amazing journey, but very strange. Like now talking to you guys in Jakarta, and it's like, you climb into a little rabbit hole and you wake up in New York, or I've been so fortunate to been able to travel with this film. And like you said, also you see different questions, or it triggers your mind every time you see the movie. I remember our first casting, Gabriella and Johan, the photograph of the film, came home to my parents. My mom is from Sri Lanka. She's the one in the movie. So
okay, I see.
Yeah, so we watched the movie together, and after, I don't know, my mom's Sri Lanka, giving food, everything. And once they left, she called me and she said, Fredrik, what's the movie about? She couldn't grasp the movie at all. But now she has seen it like 3 or 4 times and she loves it now. So yeah, it is a film that it's a different narrative, but it grows on you, I think.
Yes, it is. And so, well, let me try to understand again. This is your first acting role. Like you've never acted before?
No.
Wow. Yet you look so natural. I mean, if we see the film, we wouldn't have been able to figure out that this is a newcomer role, and because the role is so pivotal, and yet you play it flawlessly, very smoothly as well. Because, the film is about it's 2 girls recording the area and making the video as a promotion. But it was Muse who is actually like the driving force of the plot. Like he is the one who is coming with the idea of doing the competition, opening up to residents. So what are parts of, what are the characteristics of the quality of this part that you find yourself attracted to?
Well, I think sometimes Musse is a bit too close to home for me. And I think that's, first of all, I'm very flattered that you think I did a good job. And I think that part of it is that Musse is close to the person I am. So, Gabriella used to start every set by, how would you act in this situation? And, I acted the way I would. And then she said, okay, now we got that, please, enhance, or be more angry, be furious, or be passive aggressive, or, so then before you, and all credit goes to Gabriella. She's really good at, getting people to do what they didn't know they could do. So all credit to her. And I would say that Musse, in some scenes, I actually walked up to Gabriella and said, listen, I wouldn't do like this. I wouldn't act like that. Or, and she goes, well, it's not you, Fredrik. Don't forget, it's not you. So in some sense, I think Musse, he is a lovable character. He's caught in between two worlds with his mom. He can't communicate with his mom, but he has also been very, part of Swedish society, whereas he doesn't know any Tamil, he doesn't know how to communicate with his mom, and at the same time, he is not allowed to be part of the society where he is, he's given up so much of his heritage to fit in, and they won't let him, take place in this blonde and blue-eyed world. And I think in some matters, he admires the girls for, sticking, being confident enough to go their own path.
Yeah, and since you mentioned about how Gabriella shaped the role of Musse to be close to you, and seeing that the movie was shot or made into a semi-documentary style, I would say, with the handheld camera, and the actors look like real people. I wonder what was the situation or the atmosphere of the film shooting like? Is Gabriella the kind of director that encourages the actors to improvise, or did she plan everything from the beginning, storyboard everything?
I think she has most of it outlined, but she is very good in letting people improvise as well. And this is my first movie, but it was also the two girls have never been in a movie before. And,
I see. Okay.
And I think Gabriella comes from a background. Her mom used to be cleaning lady, and it's always annoyed Gabriella that she thinks, a person who cleans apartments or hotels, they do a better job of being a cleaning lady than any actor. So she in some sense, she wants that reality check, and for me, working in the local government, having a position very much like Musse, I also got to, give feedback how a meeting works in Sweden, how she's very keen on picking up and constantly learning more stuff. And I think sometimes she falls in love with people that she meet, and she wants to make room for everyone. And if you ever get to talk to Gabriella, I think you should, that's her biggest headache, is to tell people that there's no room at the moment because she really wants to she's so curious. I remember once I was very nervous. This is first screening of our movie for the Swedish film industry, and it was like a lot of famous Swedish actors there, and we were supposed to go on scene, and I was sitting with a cup of coffee like this, and Gabriella was sitting next to me, and she goes, just before we are supposed to go up on ski, and I've never been in this surrounding before, I recognize a ton of people in the audience, and she asks, why do you have coffee on your nose? And I've thought about that, and I think she's the only person. Every other person I know would say, "How you have coffee and wipe off, you're heading out." But she was curious how it ended up there, and I don't know. I think that in some sense, in a small way, captures who she is as a person.
Yeah. And I understand that she is interested in small moments or small details, because that's also what I captured what I see in this film and your performances. There are a lot of small moments, like when you're at home, seeing your mom in bed, when you are learning Tamil in front of the computer. There's so many details. So did Gabriela shoot that without telling the actors to let them act naturally, or did she actually instruct the actors to behave a certain way?
No, it's more natural, I think. Both Gabriela's mom is from Bosnia, from Yugoslavia, and my mom is from Sri Lanka. And I think that the fear of not be able to communicate with your mom is something we both have. I don't know any Tamil, and she doesn't. She knows some, but that sense of being alienated from your family is something that we both share in a sense. But I would say that she loves capturing, because I think she's more interested in the small moments. If you look at the movie, one of the biggest fears we had was to ever explain what the movie was about, because it wouldn't. Who goes to a movie theater if the movie is about a small community in Sweden? They are trying to promote themselves to get a big, German store coming, and two kids make their own movie. That's the worst, his pitch in history. But that's just the framework for her, because what takes place, that's the interesting thing, in everyday life. How can you capture everyday life? Because once the super Billy is not coming, Musse will wake up to the next day of work, life will just go on. But in that framework of the situation, she captures a lot of things that are worth, discussing and talking about.
And during the filming and during the promotion of the film, did you still work in the municipality?
Yes.
Or you took a break for a while?
Yeah, I was part of the movie about 30 days, so I got absent of work for 30 days.
Okay.
To make the movie, yeah.
And you're still working there?
Yes.
Wow, and you don't plan to resign and become a full-time actor?
It's hard, it has been such an amazing ride.
Yeah.
I've been in another movie that's on, but just a small role. But it's hard, I'm 40, I have 2 kids, I have a family, a beautiful house, I'm pretty set with my life, and but then to get this extremely interesting ride, I've got to meet Robert De Niro. Who thought a person from Sverige would get the chance of meeting Robert De Niro? So, I've been a part of this roller coaster, and sometimes I think I'm afraid that, I will. It's easier if I had this chance when I was 22, then I know. But now I'm 42. I can't really, just up and strive to be an actor. So I have my work. I like my work. I like my community. And if someone wants me to be in a movie and think I'm a good fit, I could easily do that. But I don't strive for, I'm happy with everything that's happened to me. Has made me, it's such a great experience. And so, I can't, ask for this every time. It would be too much.
Yeah, and what an achievement for your role here. I understand that you're also nominated for Best Actor in the Guldbagge, which is
Yes,
Swedish highest film honor, and for your debut. So what was it like to see yourself competing with other more established actors?
It was horrible. It was so. I was so nervous, you know. I was up against one of the most famous Swedish actors. He's been in The Hobbit, you know. So big screens all over the world. And I always wondered what I would say to him if we ended up in the elevator together. Because I know him, and now I don't know, you know, who am I to him? Should I start talking to him, or should I say hi, or you know? No, it's a fun experience. You get a ton of credit, but it's hard to know how to act because you know, I've never been in these social settings before, and well, it was great fun, but also a lot of nerves. You know, how would you act when you have someone famous, you know, talking to you and recognizing you? I didn't know how to handle that. It's very awkward.
It's I'm sure it is. I mean, it's not easy to handle. It's not an easy thing to handle as well. And this is something that I'm always curious for first-time filmmakers, especially first-time actors. What was it like seeing yourself on such a big screen for the very first time? So when you saw Amateurs for the first time in cinema, what was it like?
It was one of the toughest, you know, out-of-body experiences I've ever had. You know how now it's Zoom and everything, you see yourself all the time, but you know how you always feel embarrassed about your voice, and you like, this can't be me. So you had all that, and then on a big screen with an audience, you have to see yourself, you have to listen to yourself, and it's not like you have a mental picture. So if I was supposed to be surprised, I would be like, or something, and I have a mental picture of how I look, but then when I see, God, what am I doing? Do I have like, I was, you know, because you think that your facial expressions show, you know, something that when you see it on screen, it's a bit different, and so no, that was, and I before this happened, I thought I would have a harder time watching myself, but you know, you get used to it. But the first time, it's just, you know, my palms were sweating. I was just sitting, you know, I wanted to run out of from the cinema.
And what was the reception like when it was released in Sweden?
We had a debut at the exactly right place for us, I think. So we had it at Gothenburg Film Festival, and you know, it's I met a lot of people. Some people, you know, they hate the movie. It's like, what is it about? You know, it's so slow, and I can see that, and I think I would be one of those people also. But I think when you've seen a lot of movies, you get tired of the narrative. Boy meets girl, something happens, they find themselves again, and you know, or a super cool dude, he's CIA trained, he gets into trouble, and then he meets this crazy group of people, and he's, you know, solves, you know, that we are so used to that narrative with a clear beginning and clear end, and that's what we're used to consummate. But I think for us, premiering at Gothenburg Film Festival was awesome, because you have people who go there, have seen a lot of movies. You know, it's like reading, you know, War and Peace is not if you have never read a book before, but if you read tons of books, you will appreciate, you know, and I think that's the same thing here. That if you've seen a lot of movies, you like the narratives she picks up, the questions she raises, and how she raises them. Not writing anyone on the nose, you know, obvious. So in that sense, I think it was perfect scene because they loved it. At the Gothenburg Film Festival, the people there we got standing ovations, and so, and we won the Dragon Award for Best Nordic Film. So, so that was a great kickoff. And then it is not a movie. It's a movie that critics like, but it's not like a huge success box store, right? Or what do you
box
call it?
office.
Yeah, it's not a box office hit in any sense. It's more of cultural film. Or
any particular comment from your family members about your performance in the film that hit you the most, that you remember the most?
I don't know. It's like a lot of people recognize me, my friends and family. It's also been fun because, like I said, my mom is in the movie.
Yeah.
And even my dad is actually in the movie. He's the one when we are painting the house.
All right. Yeah.
That's my dad. And my mom got a lot of praise for being senile in a very, persuading mood. So it's fun because I think I have a brother also. He's the only one who had taken any acting classes, and he wasn't in the movie. So.
Okay.
But mostly friends who said, we recognize you in that character. It's like, yeah.
Okay, so they can still see you, the person in the character.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Fredrik, we already have some questions from audience who are joining us. The first question is from Fanny. Hi, Fredrik. Thank you for your movie. This is your first movie. Why are you interested in being an actor? Did you find it difficult to play this character? And did all actors know this film is going to festivals? Thank you.
Yeah. I'll put it on. I don't know, Fanny. I was, never interested in being an actor at all. It never crossed my mind. If someone had told me, like 3 years before, I was contacted by the movie, that within 3 years you will be having one of the leading roles in one of the Swedish most acclaimed, directors' film, or you would work for, NASA sending out space shuttles. I would be, well, then it has to be NASA. It can't. It's so far fetched for me. So I never had that funny interest of being an actor. Now, when I've seen how it works, and I've been part of another movie as well. I like it. It's like you get to ventilate feelings and stuff you didn't even know you had inside you. So we'll see what happens. Now I think I got with a blooded tooth there, or a taste for it, and I would love to be in more movies. Yeah, and it's also I don't think we never knew it was going to film festivals and stuff, and that was one of the great perks. And I, as much as it's been fun of being part of this movie, to getting questions from Jakarta or how people experience something that you've been a part of, that is more fun than being in the movie. We have been
really
I've been to Vancouver, Rotterdam, New York, and we had screenings, people from Zimbabwe, and I never thought in my life I would be part of something that people would enjoy, be bored of, or be angry at, or take to heart in all over the world. And by far the best thing.
Great. Let's move to the next questions from Siska. Amateurs is such a fun movie to watch. Thanks Europe on Screen for being in Indonesia. Hi, Fredrik. Muse character is like a glue to the story. I agree. Is there any scenes that have, perhaps a particular scene that have similarity to your personal story? As you said, that Muse quite similar like you in personal life.
Well, I'm sad to say that when I get drunk, I get the kind of like Muse.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I sing way too much and I can't sing. So yeah, that, and also being, you know, born in Sweden, and I'm born in 1978, so I've been, you know, through the 80s and the 90s, and being of, you know, a darker skin color than the Swedish norm, there is a sense of me in Musse there as well, you know, where she make, I don't know if you remember, I snus, it's called like a patch of tobacco that you put in, you know, and it's very, very Swedish, and you know, and that's enhances my Swedishness in a sense, and you know, when I get you know, and I think that's one of the key aspects or narratives in the movie, where, you know, how we, and there's no bad or evil people in the movie,
True.
but you know, the outcome becomes strange, you know, and how we conform and we adapt to what we think other people think of us, and I think that's one of the, you know, I'm not allowed to represent my hometown as Musse, even though I work for that, and you know, I'm all that person, but you know, I look a little bit too dark for the Germans, and you know, they think everyone in Sweden is blonde and blue-eyed, so you know, so we kind of, you know, we want to put up that picture that we think they want to see, and then when the German people come, I don't know, you noticed the boss from the German delegation had, you know, it's a Muslim lady, so
yeah.
She has all these small, you know, that she looks, and in that sense, sometimes, you know, being in Sweden and telling people I'm from Sweden, they will be like, where are you really from? Or, you know, you know, you can't be from Sweden because you don't look, you know, the picture we have of Sweden.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the image of unconventional image, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I understand that La Force is it fictional or real?
Yeah, fictional, yeah.
Okay, but it is modeled very closely from the municipality that you're in.
Yes. We had half of the scenes is from my home municipality of Svenljunga, so it's very much La Force, and even when we made the movie, we put up, you know, flags and stuff for La Force, and people called the town hall and wondered, you know, what's going on? Have you changed names, or is it like you, or you know?
And they don't mind with the depiction of La Force in the film?
No, I think it is universal questions for rural Sweden, and I think in Sweden sometimes we have, you know, the rural picture is one of the people being very backwards, you know, moonshiners. I don't know if you've seen a lot of American, you know, but that kind of hillbilly country, but also very, very beautiful, untouched, you know, I don't know if you know Astrid Lindgren, but you know, very much small cottages, red houses by the lake, this beautiful, untouched, you know, ground. And I think both of those pictures are troublesome. And I think the worst picture is the one of the Swedish countryside being pristine or, you know, very untouched, because it makes everything that's disturbing that picture a threat, you know. And I think we need influences. We need other cultures to come in and make us better. But it's also, you know, you want to keep the Swedish essence in it, you know. So I think it's a very, very common, you know, picture of Sweden and it goes for all rural parts. So I think it's more of metaphor for Svenljunga La Force is a typical Swedish town more than a specific one.
We have another question from Jane here. Hi, Fredrik. Since it's your first film, are there any scenes you find it hard to do, and how did you manage to do that hard scene? And how Gabriela guided you along the scene?
I think the hardest was when I was, being mad, being really angry, and that was. It felt like you had. You hinge yourself a little bit. You had to completely let go. And you can't really be bothered about all the 60, 70 people around you. You just have to let go, and afterwards it felt like the adrenaline afterwards. But I think for a lot of scenes I got angry, but I got angry with mouth, or I didn't get completely, and that was the hardest one, I would say.
I see. How long did actually the shooting process for amateurs?
I think we about altogether 2 months, and then we added scenes, after the cuts, and Gabriella and Johan came out, and we put some audio and stuff on. But so I could typically I could make one scene, like the scene where I get mad. So I did that in like different settings, where I got really mad, where I got like passive aggressive, where I got like annoyed, and she all arranged the story. It's filmed, but it really shapes. It gets shaped in the cutting room, where that also decides my character, I think, in the sense that it's when she picked the different, if I made 10 scenes for being mad, she decides who Busse is in Gabriella. And Gabriella and Johan, they've had, they want to be in charge of the whole process. So yeah, it was very interesting when the movie came out to see how they, how from the script to the finished product, how they got to it.
And since amateurs, you mentioned that you already starred in one other film. What you said is a smaller role, but how did you compare the filmmaking process between these two films?
Well, it's different. This is it's called Nelly Rapp Monster Agent. So this is like a bigger production. It's currently #1 in the Swedish box office, but it's like Corona #1, so it's not, it's not that. And with huge Swedish, like 5, 6 of the biggest Swedish stars in it. So I had a small role, but I think it's a really good movie, but it's not. It's more of a mainstream that will, it won't change anyone's way of thinking, but it will get people and families to the movies. So it's a different experience than amateurs. Amateurs, sorry. But
no, sorry, you were saying.
Yeah, amateurs, I think it's worth talking to. So I wish, even when you've seen it with your friends, your family, or whatever, you don't have to love it, you don't even have to like it, but please talk about it. The topics, some of them are universal, because when you talk about it, I find you will find new nuances or new, angles to see it. And so, I've always been, you go to the theater, you watch the movie, you go into the garage, and you drive home. That's, you consume it like fast food. So if I get to everyone seeing this, then I hope you like the film, but talk about it, It's like a good book club. You should talk about the books you read.
That's a very nice way to put it. And I have to say, Amateurs is not like any other Swedish films we are accustomed to, or we always see. And that's what surprised us in the festival, that we didn't expect such film would come out of Sweden. And that's why we are so interested in bringing it here. And yes, we do encourage our viewers or our audience to share their opinions and, like what you said, talk about it, because it will open up conversation. I couldn't agree more. So last question. So what have you been doing in the past few weeks? How do you keep yourself busy in this pandemic situation?
Well, it is strange times, isn't it? So
It is.
yeah, I work, but I also have 2 kids. I have one 2-month son, 2 months, and one little girl, and she's 1 year, 1.5, and they just drive me nuts.
Yeah, you must be very busy. I can imagine
I
that.
don't have any exhale. I love this because now I can say it and I don't have that in my life. I find out I wake up in the morning and I just gasp for, I inhale until I go to bed. So, and now I try to work at home, as most of us do, and to have the kids around. I don't think I'm at my most productive, but I love them when they sleep. They are the best thing that happened to me.
Well, that's nice. Well, let's hope that this pandemic will be over soon, so we can appreciate the life more. Thank you so much for
I
your
could be in the
time.
movie, and next time I could come to Jakarta and see you.
Yes, of course. We look forward to traveling again. We all do. And before we finish, I think we need to take a picture together by looking at the camera directly. The technical host can lead us.
Hello guys, so please look at your camera and stay still for 1 to 2 seconds to avoid any delay. And I will count to 3. 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. All right, thank you.
Thank you, and thank you, Fredrik.
Yeah, thank you, Noah.
Yeah, I hope you have a nice time, nice day ahead, and stay safe, stay healthy.
Yeah, great talking to you.
Nice talking to you too. Bye.
You, buddy. Bye-bye.
All right, that was Fredrik Dahl, and that's it. That's the last film talk for the day, and we will be back tomorrow. I think we will have, we will have 2 sessions of film talk tomorrow. That one is about making the grade with the director Ken Waldrop, and the other one is, I forget. I have to check the schedule. We have so many things going on. Also, tomorrow is our first day of short film pitching project. And if you want to join, do check our website at europeonscreen.org in the schedule section. And in the meantime, all 3 people who submit their questions will get goodie bags from Europe on Screen, Fanny S., Siska Karya, and Jane Milawa. Our team will contact you all shortly. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Bye.